Alright, welcome back to Nick Comic Corner, Classic Non-Classics. This is episode number 2604 and Doubleshot number 2608. Yep, I have two DC stuff, both really cool about these books. First one we have is The Power of Shazam! Book 1. Which collects the Power of Shazam graphic novel and the first 12 issues of the ongoing series, along with a short story, which is the Scarab Necklace from Superman and Batman magazine. All the issues in here are written by Jerry Ordway. Later on, he becomes the artist of this book. So the graphic novel was basically just a setup for the series, and it's called Power of Shazam. It is technically, in a way, like the second ongoing that Captain Marvel had for DC. I think overall, this is like his third series he's had for DC, because of course he had first Jump Line of Shazam. Now, this book is written and drawn by Jerry Ordway. So, we open up with the Valley of Kings, where we see the Batsons and Theft Adam. Yes. Where he's like very jealous, like who pushes basically his wife, like, I should be first. Oof. Yeah, and of course, basically, he's punched by Mr. Batson. So, like, you regret the college boy. I lose my head. I lost my head on him. But you know, right too. Both of you look. So, then they discover a tomb with a lightning bolt on it. Interesting. And we see look like potential grave robbers. First figures, CC. So you have Isis. So then, of course, they look. Oh, look, it's a scarab. Interesting. And the scarab looks very similar to the Blue Beetle scarab. Yeah, there's been conflicting reports about the whole thing with the blue scarab that Jaime Reyes has. Some say it's magic, and some say that it was in Egypt, or it was basically various in places, so... And of course, he presses the thing, or he gets shocked. Like, oh, interesting. So apparently, Billy Batson's father's name is Clarice Charles Batson. So symbols read Shazam, and they look inside the tomb, it's like, oh, we see somebody there. And then apparently it's like, then we have Adam just basically trying to break it to get basically a necklace, because he's apparently turned into a jewel thief for reasons. And he takes out a knife. Oh, he just basically push away basically Mr. Batson's wife, Billy Batson's mom, like being greedy, and then of course he stabs her, and of course we have flash photography. Then we have CC giving Adam a judo flip. I think it's basically like trying to flip him over, and it's like, and then of course you have Adam where he just kind of in a way fights him for a while, like this ends now, break his hand. He picks the knife up, and then he stabs CC in the back and buries him alive in the tomb. Yeah, and then of course he kills the guide. Oh, because he's greedy. And he tracks down basically. Then she puts the jewel from the tomb and puts inside of a tiger jaw. Oh, don't worry, comes to play. Then it's like, oh, it's like, and then Adam comes by. It's like, where's my husband? Adam? He's under tons of rubble. Where's that blasted camera of yours? And we see like a top comes out, like, look, Nama, it's a spinning top. Yep. And then he killed Billy Batson's mom, and then he kills this little girl's mom, and then he just, then, of course, apparently just stabs her. And apparently, girl calls him Uncle Adam. Oh, this is Mary Marvel. Yeah, this is Billy's sister. So apparently Billy's sister went with his parents on the archaeology league. And then we cut to Fawcett City to Whiz Radio. Yep. Now, the name Fawcett City comes from the company that created Billy Batson, Fawcett Comics. Whiz is the name of the comic he made his debut in. Whiz Comics #2, which I've heard or rumored the reason why that it was called, it technically was the first issue of the series. Apparently #1 was a dead number. Nowadays, basically, it's like, ooh, let's make some money by... And then I'm ready to start. So we have Billy Hound newspapers in the street. East Parker, Boy Bender. I wonder if the name of people. Then of course, they have honking, and then of course, he gets run over. Yes, he gets run over because apparently, like, and then we see Billy Batson seeing Dr. Savannah. And he gets run over. And then we have this mysterious guy. Now, by the way, in the original origin story, we never reveal exactly who the heck this guy is. I don't remember because it's been a while since I read it, but they don't say who he is. Then he takes him on this weird train trip. And then we see the 7 deadly enemies of man. It used to be the 7 deadly sins, but they call it 7 deadly man. Basically, it's the same purpose as usual. And yeah, I love this cover spread by Jim Irwin. It's so good. Yeah, and of course, Billy and Juice. So it's a similar scene, and of course, then, like, oh, there's a rock over his head. By the way, that rock itself plays a very does play a role. Now, in the original story, after he said the word Shazam one more time, the rock falls on his head, killing him. Here he comes back. And he turns him to Captain Marvel first time. And then for some reason, this is unusual. Yeah, then Billy pulls Shazam out of the chair, sits down in his throne. He picks the throne and nearly crushes him. And then eventually he says Shazam one more time. And then, oh, by the way, the stranger, who the guy's, and then Shazam just happens under the rock, and then supposedly kills him. And then, like, we have Savannah. Yep. Or like, oh, we have the Fawcett City. Yep. So yeah, they apparently Octopus is working with Adam, the murderer. Yep. And of course, following a detonator, of course, Billy talks to a building, and of course, he transforms into Captain Marvel. Wonderful cover image here by Gerard Way. He fights detonators, trying to develop Wiz Comet with the Wiz Radio, and I still love this artwork. It's so awesome. Oh yeah, and here's something from the cover of Wiz Comics #2. Yeah, throw a car against a wall, which, yeah, he did in the cover too. And then of course he transforms back and fights against Dr. Savannah stuff. And then of course Dudley shows up. Well, actually first it's of course, he's confused and eventually... by the way, he's talking to Dudley. Yeah, of course, Dr. Savannah basically is like... And of course, they try out the jewel, and then he says, Power Shazam. And then Adam becomes Black Adam. And they toss him aside, like, hey, he doesn't need me anymore. Like, don't leave me. There's like a fire going on. And potentially Black Adam killed him. And of course, he's back in school. And then, of course, well, he fights him for the first time as one shot. Like, ooh, we got some Yeah, then we have, I don't know, it looks like he's going to like a porno. Yes, because we have a topless woman, we have Black Adam and him on fighting. And they go to Egyptian building. Yes, in Egyptian building in Wiz in Fawcett Comics. And then there's a building called Soda. Yes, Soda. They fire in the city. Yeah, really fun here. Scarab, my power. And then he transforms back. And eventually, like, hold your fire, officer. I believe this man wanted for questioning. And concerning murders, 2 archaeologists. He saw Scarecrow's mug in the roll this morning. Yeah, we got a couple of Egyptian fellows looking for you, Mr. Adam. Give this one here. I believe. Give this to me. We recognize it. Hey. How about that book in him? Yep. Yep. And then eventually, yeah, the guy the stranger is revealed to be Mr. Batson. And then, of course, it goes back to normal. And then leads into the Dr. Smart Survive Adult Working Back. And we have the magazine one, which is another adventure for him to move to the main book. By the way, that graphic novel was pure awesome at its finest. Yep, and we have more some Wayne Tower stuff. Yeah, now we're in the adventures of Captain Marvel. We have him saving people, and this is other stuff going on here, like stuff related to like his work. Yeah, then of course you have Captain Marvel pulling out his suit. This is funny. Yeah, apparently he's like, yeah, he puts on his suit. It's like, give you Captain Marvel. This is so funny. And then it's like, hello, Captain. Hear me, Buta Savannah. Well, Buta obvious. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be like Dr. Savannah's daughter. Yeah, I remember the original continuity, she was a nerd. Yeah, and of course, like, you have the thing like, oh, it's like, oh, we're back normal. Yeah, apparently, like, sometimes passed between the actual one shot and then eventually, like, Captain Marvel was like a celebrity. Then he battles a woman named Blaze, who's like a demon. We have various stuff happening here. Yeah, there's also stuff related to, like, heart stuff. Yep. And then, of course, apparently you have Billy. You have uncover at a dock. Yes, a dock. I mean, I think that Gerard Way is trying to with this Power Shazam book. You can tell by reading it. It seems like he's trying his best to sort of semi-recreate the classic 40 story, just told in a modern sense. But it's fine. I don't have an issue with it. And, of course, before this, he was looking for his sister, of course, that she's found by issue 4. Yes, Mary Marvel at this point haven't seen since the graphic novel one shot. It's like, oh yeah, we have is like, oh, it's got big red, and of course it's like, cross him around. Eventually he finds a safe. And eventually it's like, if this beauty is like, say Captain, I can't work 11. Go, that's nice. See you around, beefcake. Yeah, it's like, damn. I guess Billy's like, I got the hot bays basically falling over me. And then we see Takitani. Yes, the jewel has transformed the doll into Takitani, the Taki Tiger. We have Dudley. By the way, Dudley does find out about Billy Batson being Captain Marvel. Then we have Mary Marvel for the first time, her transformation here. And then we fight more people in here. More fighting. And, of course, I think originally it was supposed to be Mary and Billy supposed to share powers. but I guess that doesn't work here. Apparently she knows how to use the word Shazam. And then Captain Nazi comes in. Yes, freaking Captain Nazi. So yeah, basically Billy spends the next several issues of this book fighting Captain Nazi. Because why the heck not? And by the way, throughout the course of this issue, he's building the Captain Marvel family. Yep. And then of course we have Fred Freeman, who's a cripple, and he becomes, well, Captain Marvel Jr. in these issues. While dealing with not Captain Nazi. Oh yeah, I love the cover for this issue here, where it's a clear nod to the old Master Comics. I'm guessing Ordway must have been a big fan of the classic stories. And then we see Bullet Man, Spy Master. Yeah, I know who these guys are because I read a lot of DC comics. Fighting Captain Nazi, of course. Captain Marvel Jr. Yeah, and of course, still dealing with Captain Nazi, fighting him still for a while. It's like Billy's like not playing a role, it's like a little bit like, oh, take that skull, and of course then we have this guy's like, oh, she can arrest me anytime. Yeah, it's so funny. Then we have it's so funny. It looks like they changed costumes for like one panel, and then of course you Black Adam should go back to the Rock of Eternity. Yes, with Blaze. Yeah, and Captain Nazi. And apparently it ties into Underworld Unleashed, but that's not in this trade here. Because you already read it. Yep. And it's either Blaze and Takitani. And eventually Dudley himself gets powers. Yes. Dudley gets powers. Yep. Like, where's the jewel? And of course the thing is, Takitani's sort of killed. You have Billy in a cast. Yeah. Billy's in the cast in this issue because basically, because Underworld Unleashed. You have Mary fighting Black Adam, who is basically her parents' murder. Of course, fight Bullet Man, Isis. Dudley gets his powers. Of course, we have basically. Then we have eventually issue 12 leads to like another fight with Black Adam. But this book is just so good. Like, wow. Like, I was shocked the fact DC even did this trade. I didn't know they came because I read this series years ago online. And this is something I really enjoyed reading. It must be like almost 10 years ago I read it. But it was awesome. I loved it. I get this book a 10 out of 10. Yes, this actually is another ongoing series in the 90s that is really, really good. And it's like about 50 issues, this book. It's about half the length of, James Robertson Starman, but really good. Next up is basically DC Universe by John Byrne. These are various comics that is not in the ongoing series John Byrne worked on. These are various one-off issues that he worked on. And this book collects. By the way, this right here by Marvel Open, Mike David Burr, Paul Kupperberg, Roger Stern, Paul Dini, Josh Diggle, Carrie Bates, Keith Campaign. This artwork, this inking by Jose Garcia Lopez. But yeah, it's up by John Byrne. We have in here Teen Titans number 2, Outsiders number 11, Batman 401, 433, 435, Vigilante 35, Batman A number 11, Hawkman number 10, which is from Volume 2, Legion of Superheroes number 36, Secret Origins number 1, Tales of Teen Titans number 81, Christmas with Superheroes 1 2, Power of the number 6, Batman 3D, Red Lantern, Ganthet's Tale, Action Comics number 6, Batman Adventures number 1, Superman Weather album, I think it's just a cover. Speak First number 1, I think it's like one story. I think with Flash 8-page giant, Batman Gotham Knights, Hawkman Volume 4 number 26, and DC Comics presents Hawkman number 1, Action Comics 8/27/28, DC Infinite Holiday Special, Superman Through the Ages, Legends Collection. Yeah, period of like 1986 to like 2006. But here's what mainly collects. Teen Titans number 2, Alice number 11, Green Lantern number 3. This was the, this is one of the tail stuff. Secrets number 1, Power Day number 6, Christmas with Spirits number 2, Ego Trip from Batman 3 number 1, 3D. Green Lantern got this tail. The X Summers Annual Batman Avengers and number 1. There's just one short story from that one. Speed Force, 8-page giant. Got number 2, one short story. Death of the Hawkman issue. DC Comics Hawkman. DC Comics Special. And Super 3 Ages. Some of these like very short stories. Some of these ones I will be skipping over. The ones I'm skipping over here are the New Teen Titans Annual, Outsiders, the Secret Origins Annual, the Axe Summers Annual, and that's it. So yeah, skip over the because they put this in here because John Byrne. It's like various one-shot comics. Of course, Outsiders, skip over that one. Now, a little fun fact about Batman 401. This was the second appearance of Magpie, and this is one of 2 trades you can find this one issue in. The other being the Legends Omnibus. Yep. And then we go to Legion of Superheroes. Oh, just the cover. Yeah, he just did the cover. I thought it was an issue. Skipping over the Secret Origins Annual, which discussed in the previous video. '81 I know was a reprint, and then we have Christmas of Superheroes number 2. Oh, just the cover. Apparently, he just did the cover. Power number 6. The biggest thing with this issue is basically you have this issue written by Roger Stern, artwork of course by John Byrne, obviously, and I think co-artwork by Ron Wilson. Mostly put for this issue. This is basically Ray Palmer's rematch with Kronos, who look what his character design is. It looks like some of the way he did in Batman animated series, Batman Beyond, actually. Yeah, and then we see now this outfit here. That is Ray in his power. That's the outfit he wore in Power of the Atom. It is mostly put just. I would discuss more about this book when I talk about this book later on. And of course, it's basically some reimagining stuff of like you find Dr. Light again. I think Dr. Light was a quick appearance, and we see him like going through like I think it was like the Atom number 8. The sort of the Atom mini series wearing his alpha he later wear in this book here. People are trying to kill him. And then, of course, the book wraps up there. Now, 433, this is written by John Byrne. I have already talked about this book already. I think they just clicked just one issue in here for this one. Oh, yeah, he just did the covers, but I think mostly this is mostly his book he did artwork for. For artwork, he just did the covers, he never did the interiors. Silent Night, I believe this is from Gotham Knights, if I'm mistaken, correct? Let's see. This is from Christmas with the Superheroes, this one. This is written John Wayne. It's mostly put just a Christmas story involving Enemy Ace. Yep. Those of you curious. Oh, here's Enemy Ace. You might be thinking, who the heck is Enemy Ace? He's a German fighter pilot of World War II. You're thinking, German, was he a Nazi? No. Enemy Ace was not a Nazi. He was from World War I, Nazi associated with World War II. Do not get those confused. Yeah, it's him being charitable. And then we have a story from Ego, which was apparently a 3D comic. This is Ego Trip. It's from it's a story from that very comic. It features the Penguin, the Riddler. It is mostly done in a 3D fashion, and of course Two-Face here as well. It's a very interesting story here. I do enjoy the artwork. But moving on for this Ego Trip book. Pretty lengthy book per se, this one. And then move on to the Gantha Tales. This is by Larry Niven. This mostly this is of course Gantha's Tale. This is his own one-shot that he had published. In case you're curious, when was this book published? This book was published in 1992. It's basically Gantha's backstory. That's kind of in a way, basically, what it is. Because we have Hal being here too. Excuse me. I really enjoyed this one-shot. Just an adventure for him. Tell a little bit of his backstory. Just a really fun one-shot. Just check the book out if you can find it. Aside from the trade itself, just get the initial issue. It's really good. It is Gantha's one and only solo story he ever had over the years, because most people he just been a supporting character in whenever Green Lantern book he pops up in. But he's never had, like, he's been, like, the star of it, so this is the only time. Okay. Let's get some here. Okay. Now, the A number 6 for Action Comics. Skipping out this one because I discussed the just very recently. I discussed this one. Yep. Then we have, this is from Gotham Knights. This is Joker. It's Joker story. Paul Dini. This is from Batman Adventures. It's just one short story he did for the book. Yes. It's just a Joker story. That's basically all it is. And we have Speed Force, which is basically a short story about Jay Garrick. Yep. Him fighting the Fiddler. Yep. And of course do some time traveling here. And then move over to the Flash 80-page Giant, which is basically just a great team story of Jay and Walt. I think it's Jay and Barry. Good Walt is redhead. Then move over to Gotham Knights. Yeah, I believe this is Gotham Knights. This is Gotham Knights number 2. I've discussed this already in the Batman Black and White stuff, but always enjoy this stuff here. Then pretty much basically we have the next thing to discuss here right after the Batman Black and White stuff is something I did not expect to find this trade. I didn't know this was even here. We have Hawkman Volume 4, issue number 26. This was, in fact, the first issue of this Hawkman book, not done by Jeff Johns, Jerry Robertson. It's called Blood on the Wings. He does the artwork for this book. It's called Resist. Excuse me. It is mostly about just Hawkman battling a vampire. I do enjoy the art because it's about John Byrne, obviously. Yeah. And of course, Kendra gets bit by a vampire. And mostly put, that's kind of what the story is. It's Hawkman versus a vampire. Interesting idea, but don't worry, Shira's not Shira. Kendra's not hurt very much at all. And then, like, of course, then move over to the DC Comics Presents book, which is another Hawkman story. Or it's by Carrie Bates. It's basically kind of a classic retelling of an old Hawkman story from the 60s. And then we have a bunch of covers here. And then we have a story from... It's a Hector Hammond issue. This is from the DC Infinite Comics Special, which is only just 10 pages. Yeah, just sold a story of Hector Hammond at Christmas time. Of course, Hal Jordan's here as well. And then we went to the last story, which is basically the origin of Superman. This came out. It's basically just a 2-page story that he basically did, and that's it. Great book. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're a fan of John Byrne, check this book out. That's what I recommend the book for. I give it a 9. I give it a 10 out of 10. The story's really good. Okay, so that's a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit this like button. Next up is Case Closed. Now, probably going to be my last video for tonight. Okay, next video. Bye.